Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So, so this session is going to be a chemistry session, and we will be learning about different types of chemicals and how and on what basis they are being classified as acids, bases, or salts. So we are going to study the properties of uh, like acids, bases, and salts, and we are also going to find out what are the indicators or what are the chemicals which are used to identify which chemical is an acid and which is a base. Right now, before we get into understanding what is acid and what is base, let's just quickly see and kind of find out the items that we use or encounter on a day-to-day basis, which of them are acids and which of them are base. Then we will study the properties. Okay. All right. So the first point, I'm sure everyone knows that the lemons and the oranges or any other citrus fruit, they have an acid called as the citric acid. Okay. You're aware of that?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
miss.
Yes. Okay. And the formula for citric acid is given here. Okay. This is how the citric acid is written or it is represented chemically. Whenever an ant stings you, you get a slight irritation on your skin, right? And you feel like itching, you feel like scratching it. That is due to an acid called the formic acid. Okay, so the ant, when it stings us, it releases formic acid onto our skin, which causes the irritation, which because of which we feel the urge to scratch our skin. And the formic acid is denoted as this. Okay, the tablet, analgesic tablet aspirin that we take, that is also an acid. Caffeine, which is present in the coffee, that is a base. Okay, and caffeine is represented like this. So let's not, I mean, these are just for your understanding. You will not probably understand the chemical structure as of now, because all of this you will be studying after your 10th standard. So this is just to show you that every acid and every base has a chemical structure. Apart from the name that we write, like how we write carbon dioxide as CO2. Okay, the same way every acid, every chemical has a chemical formula, and that chemical formula, when you represent it, one way is writing it directly like we write CO2, and the other way is showing the bonds. Okay, so this is the structure, how how the atoms or the molecules are bonded to each other. So this is just for you to see and become aware that something like this is there. Okay, you might not understand it in detail as of now. Bleach that we use in our for our laundries, that is also a base. And baking soda, which we use for baking, or washing soda, which is present in our detergent, both of them are base, or we call it alkali. All right. So these are some acids and bases that we come across every day. Right. So now let's understand what is an acid and what is a base. Okay. Now, before we, before we go into detail, there are a few new words that you all are going to learn today. And I want you to make a note of these words, and I will be explaining each one of these words during the session. Okay. The first word that you all will be knowing today is ion, ION. Okay, you all can make a note of it. The second word which I want you all to note down is molarity. M-O-L-A-R-I-T-Y, molarity. And the third word that I want you all to note down is logarithm. L-O-G-A-R-I-T-H-M. Okay.
Ma'am, can you spell logarithm again?
L-O-G-A-R-I-T-H-M. Okay. Now
Thank you,
these,
ma'am.
yeah. Now these acids and bases are basically two different types of chemicals. Okay. They have different properties. The way, we classify material into metals and non-metals depending upon the properties, depending upon their physical properties and chemical properties. Same way, we classify chemicals into acids or bases or salts. Okay. Now, acids, from the previous slide, you would see that, the lemons and the orange, they are sour in taste. Okay. So, acids have a property that they are sour, vinegar that we use in our kitchen. That's sour in taste. Okay. So, acids, the first property of acid is that it is sour in taste. Okay. And on the contrary, bases are bitter. Okay, bases are bitter in taste. Right. Let's not go to the third category right now. Let's first see what is acid and base. So taste wise, acid is sour, base is bitter. The texture of acid is generally, it causes irritation on your skin. Even if you put a drop of lemon juice on your skin, if it stays there for a little longer time, you feel a slight irritation on your skin. Okay. Whereas a base is slippery to touch, like soap, like detergent. Okay. So bases are slippery to touch, and acids, when you touch them, when your skin touches it, it feels a little irritation. Okay. Now, third is the smell. So acids, definitely, because they're very strong. If you and they have a little pungent smell. Try smelling vinegar. You all must be having vinegar on your table. If you take it too close to your nose, I mean, it'll burn. It'll cause a irritation in your nose. Okay, but bases don't have any such quality. And conductivity wise, all the liquids conduct electricity. So acids and bases both will conduct electricity. So we know what is acid. Anything that is sour is an acid. Anything that is little slippery is a base. Okay. What are salts? Salts are something which are formed when acids and bases combine. Right. Now the example is given here in the picture. Now the first one is HCl, that is hydrochloric acid. Okay. And the second one is a base which is called NaOH, which means sodium hydroxide.
Ma'am, I have hydrochloric acid right now.
You have it?
Yeah.
Very good. In fact, to add on, all of us have hydrochloric acid within us, right? You all know our stomach has hydrochloric acid. Yeah? Okay. So, usually on a broader level, acids always start with a H. Okay. And bases end with OH. So looking at their chemical formula, if you want to identify, majorly the acids will start with H and bases will end with OH. Okay. So the first one is hydrochloric acid. The second one is a base which is called as sodium hydroxide. Now, when we are mixing them in water, what is happening? When we are, the ions get separated. So, acids have H plus ions. You all know what are ions? I have asked you all to write what is ion. Do you all know what, have you all heard about it before?
No, ma'am.
No? Okay.
I've heard of
Um,
it, but I don't know the exact meaning of it. I mean,
okay. Do you all know the structure of an atom? You know what is
yes,
an
ma'am.
atom, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
atom is the smallest unit of matter. Okay.
So
What does the atom consist of?
it has neutrons, electrons, and protons,
Protons.
and a
Okay.
nucleus.
So protons and neutrons are in the nucleus and electrons are orbiting around the nucleus like the solar system. Okay. Now, what charges do these protons, neutrons, and electrons carry?
Ma'am, neutron has no charge, proton is positive, and electron is negative.
Negative.
Negative. Okay. And what charge does the atom have?
Neutral.
Why?
Positive and negative neutral, and then neutral, so neutral.
Can you explain it a little better? Because there is equal amount of positive charge and equal amount of negative charge, which makes the atom neutral. Correct? That's why an atom is something which is neutral. Now imagine a case where the number of protons in an atom is say 20 and number of electrons in that atom is just 18. So will the atom be neutral still?
No, ma'am.
What will it become? What will it become? What will be the charge of the atom then?
Ma'am, maybe negative 2.
Now see, your protons are 20 in number, okay? And your electrons are just 18 in number. So what will be the charge?
Positive 2.
Negative.
Positive, right? So let's not worry about the number right now. Let's just look at the sign, positive or negative, okay? So it is positive. So whenever any atom becomes positive or negative, it is called as an ion, ION. Okay. So a positively or negatively charged atom is an ion. All right. So when does an atom become an ion? So like I gave you an example. So ideal scenario is when protons are 20 and electrons are 20. Okay. Now, in some chemical reaction, while they are bonding with each other, the atom gives away two electrons. Okay, two other, all of this, why it gives away and how it gives away, let's not think about it. Now, imagine two of you, like Samit and Atharva. Okay, now Atharva has 20 chocolates and Samit has just, say 5 chocolates. And Samit and Atharva want to become close friends. Okay. So obviously Samit will feel greedy, he will feel that he wants equal number of chocolates as Atharva have. Because Atharva has more, Atharva will be generous enough to give away a few to Samit. Okay. So when something is giving away electron, the atom becomes a positive ion. And Samit, who is taking chocolates from Atharva, is an atom which is borrowing electron from the other atom. So that becomes negatively charged because there the number of electrons have exceeded the number of protons. You all understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that is how when a chemical is formed, when two atoms or two molecules are bonded to each other, they are not bonded just like that. They bond by some give and take of electrons. Okay, that is why it is called a chemical bonding. The bonding happens by give and take of electrons. And in this process, some atoms becomes positive ion and some atoms become a negative ion. Okay. Now let's come back to this picture. Now in this picture, the HCl, when it is split into see, now H plus is a positive ion and Cl minus is a negative ion. So H has given an electron to chlorine and chlorine has borrowed an electron from H, and that's how they became HCl. Okay. Same way,
Okay, ma'am.
sodium plus and Na plus sodium ion, and OH is not O separate and H separate. It is always OH. It's called a hydroxyl group. Okay, so it's OH minus. So Na gives away one electron to the OH group, and OH becomes OH minus and Na becomes Na plus. Now, because these are sharing, giving and taking electrons, we are getting something called as NaOH. Okay. Now when we break them, when we do an electrolysis means chemically separating the molecules which are bonded. Okay. So I am breaking down HCl into H plus and Cl minus, and I am breaking NaOH into Na plus and OH minus. Okay. Now when I mix these two solutions, when I mix the acid completely with the base, the positive from the acid will go and bond with the negative of the base. So H plus and OH minus will combine and it will become what? H plus and OH minus can become what? When the plus and minus are combining, it becomes neutral. So there is one H and there is one OH. So it becomes water, H2O. You're understanding, no, what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes.
I didn't understand the part when you said H and OH become
Okay,
H2O.
okay. So, I have a whiteboard. I'm going to write it on the board. Just tell me if you're able to see the board clearly. Is the board visible to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now see, I have two solutions. Okay. I have one solution which is this. Okay. And I'm adding it with another solution which is this. Correct? Now, this H plus will go and bind with the OH. Now, what will happen? Say H plus OH minus. Okay. Now, because I'm adding one positive, one negative, this becomes whatever is formed is neutral. Okay. So it doesn't have any sign. Then I have two H, one H here, one H here. So it becomes H2 and I have one O. So I get water. Is this clear?
Okay, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So when an acid and a base is mixed, one thing that we get is water. Okay. What happens to the next? We have one plus here and one minus here. Okay. Now that means my Na plus will combine with Cl minus. Okay. Now again, because it is one positive, one negative, it becomes neutral. Okay. And the chemical which is formed is called NaCl, which you can see in the third beaker. Okay. Now this product which is formed, it is not an acid or a base. It is called a salt. Okay. It is one thing you all remember, that salt is not the salt, not just the salt that we use in cooking. Okay. Salts are of many types. We use NaCl for our food, but NaCl is not the only salt. There are many types of salts. Okay. Here the example is of NaCl. So what happens when an acid and a base, they are combined, we get water and we get a salt. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I know that my acid is acidic. Okay. It has acidic property and my base has a basic property. All right. The salt which is formed, generally it is neutral. Okay. But
Okay, ma'am.
when your acid is stronger than the base, okay, when your acid is stronger than the base, then the salt which is formed becomes an acidic salt because the acid was stronger. And the same way, if your acid is weak and base was strong, then the salt which was formed will be a basic salt. Okay? Because
Okay,
water
ma'am.
cannot be acidic or basic. Water is neutral. Okay? So the acidic property or basic property, whichever is stronger, that will be passed on to the salt which is formed in the process. Is this clear? Is this entire thing clear to you all?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay, now let's move on to the next concept. Okay. Now, before we understand how do we measure acidity and basicity of any chemical, let's understand what do we use to identify acids and bases. Okay. Something that gives you any direction, like you are traveling on a highway and you look at the sign boards. What do you call them? You call them indicators, right? They are indicators. When you want to turn left, you put a left indicator. And the signboards also have indications for you all. So these indicators means they indicate whether your chemical is an acid or a base. Okay. Their function is exactly what their name says. They are used for indication of whether your chemical is an acid or a base. Okay. And these indicators are of many types. Some indicators are chemical indicators, which are synthetically prepared in the lab. And some indicators are natural indicators, which are, extracted from some plants or, some kind of living thing. All right, some flowers, some leaves, anything. So these are indicators. We'll be studying about different types of indicators today. Okay. Now let's go on to find out what is pH. Okay. pH is the measure of how acidic or how basic your chemical is. Okay. For example, when we say that Pune to Mumbai is say 600 and Pune to Bangalore is say 1000, we use something with it, right? We say it is those many kilometers. Okay. So the distance is measured in kilometers. The same way, whether the chemical is acid or base, it is dependent on the value of its pH. Okay, understood this? Understood what is pH? I will explain you what pH stands for and how do we measure it. Okay. Now, pH is like your scale. You all have scale, right, in your geometry box, which has 0 to 15 centimeters. The same
Yes, ma'am.
way, pH is also a scale, but pH is only up to 14. So pH is 0 to 14. Okay. Now, the way any line has a midpoint, pH scale also has a midpoint. What do you understand by midpoint?
Neutral.
Midpoint is something which is exactly in between, at the center of the scale, right? Yeah, a balance. So when you say 0 to 14 is the number, where will be the midpoint?
7.
7. Okay. So 7 is something which is called as neutral pH. When the pH of any chemical is 7, we say that the pH is neutral. The solution is neutral. It is not an acid, it is not a base. Okay. Anything which is less than 7 will be an acid. Anything which is more than 7 will be a base. Okay. you know, to give you a clearer picture, you all know the number line, right? The integer number line.
Yes,
Zero
ma'am.
is at the
Yes,
center,
ma'am.
negative integers on one side and the positives on the other side. The same way, 7 is at the center, which is neutral. Below 7, it's all acid. Above 7, it is all base. So till 6.9, it is acid. From 7.1 onwards, it is base. Okay. Now,
Okay, ma'am.
now you all should ask me, what is pH? What do you mean by pH? Like km is kilometer. What is pH? Okay. Does anyone know what is pH?
pH is something
Physical?
used to measure like how
Yeah, no,
acid and some.
I know, like, not that. I don't want the explanation. I want to know the full form. Like, you know, what is the acronym for pH? What is the full form of pH? And why is P in small and H in capital? No? So I'll explain you what pH is. Okay. pH, you can write it down. pH means the power of hydrogen ions. Okay. Power of hydrogen ions. Now, how is the formula for pH written? I'm writing it on the board. You all can copy it. Okay. pH is equal to can you all see it, the topmost thing?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, in this formula, what all do you understand? Do you all know what is a log? Have you all studied log in school?
No, ma'am.
Okay. H plus you all understand, right?
Yes,
What is
ma'am.
H plus? What is H plus?
Hydrogen. Hydrogen.
Hydrogen. Hydrogen. What? Hydrogen what?
Hydrogen
Positive.
When it is a positive or a negative, what is it called?
acid.
No. When it is positive or a negative, it is called an ion.
Iron.
Ion. Yeah. So this formula means negative log of H plus ions. Okay. Now the word I had told you was logarithm, right? What does that word mean? Okay. Now this is a topic in maths. Okay. I'll just tell you all in brief what does logarithm mean. Okay. Now I have two numbers. Okay. I have a number 2 and I have a number 8. Now tell me how many times I need to multiply 2 by itself to get the number 8.
4 times.
4.
4 times.
4 times. We are not adding it. We are multiplying it.
3 times.
3 times, right? So logarithm is how many times one number we multiply with itself to get the other number. So how many times we multiply 2 with itself to get the another number is called the logarithm. Okay. And how do we write it? So this particular example that I explained you all, we write it as log to the base of 2. So log 8 to the base of 2. And the answer you said is 3. We multiply it 3 times. Understood? Little bit at least.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
So the first number is written at the base. The second number is written as a regular number. And the result, the number of times you multiply 2 with itself is the answer. Okay. So this is called log of 8 to the base 2 or log to the base 2 of 8. Okay. Now this is positive logarithm. Now there is something called as a negative logarithm. which means how many times you divide the number or divide 1 with that number to get the other number. Example is, I have a number 0.125. Okay, log to the base of 8. What will you do here? Understand, not understand?
Ma'am, I understand, but what did you say the log is?
Well,
Yeah,
see,
log is
log to the base of 8 of 0.125.
Okay, ma'am.
That means
yeah.
what number, the result is what? So how do we find that out? What number, when broken down into 8 parts, gives 0.125?
8. I mean
No,
32?
7.
no. When you break 8 into 8 parts, you get 1. No, when you get 8
Yes,
into
ma'am.
8 parts, no,
10.
that's not the
10
answer.
parts.
I want number as 0. The broken, the one fraction is 0.125. What
10.
number? No, 10 when you break 8 times, you will not get 0.125, right?
Ma'am, we multiply 0.125 into 8.
Yes, and what the result will be? The result will be 1, right? 0.25 is 1/4 of 1, and 0.125 is 1/8 of 1. Correct or wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So the answer for this is 1. Now, because it's a division, it's a negative logarithm, the answer is -1. Okay. So now coming back to the pH formula, pH is a negative logarithm to the base 10 of the H plus ions. Okay. So calculating pH is not an easy thing. Okay. So pH is something for us, it is very, very easy. They have given it in a scale 0 to 14, and we just want to remember the value of pH, whether it is 1, whether it is 2.5, 3.3, whatever it may be in between 1 to 14. Okay. But if you have to calculate pH, it is not an easy thing to do. All right. Imagine I give you a solution. You all have many solutions right now, right? Can you find out what is the concentration of H plus ions in any of your solution? Is it easy to find out?
No, ma'am.
Looking at it, can you find out?
No, ma'am.
You cannot, right? So we cannot calculate pH because we cannot find out the concentration of H plus ions in the solution. So best way, let's not get into mathematics. Let's simply use indicators to find out whether they are acids and bases. But you all must know this because the pH, the full form of pH is also, it's very important that you all know. You can say that it is an acid or a base. When someone will ask you what is pH, you have to say it is the concentration, it is the power of hydrogen ions in any given solution. That's how you have to define pH. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Now, so we saw what is logarithm. We saw what is an ion. All right. The next thing that you have written, the third word that you have written, is called molarity. Have you all heard this word before? Molarity.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Now, okay. Have you all heard the word light years before?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
is
Yes,
what
ma'am.
is what is 1 light year?
A light year, how much time it takes the distance from the sun? How much time it will take light to travel in 1 year?
In 1 year. Okay. So is it time or is it distance?
Ma'am, distance.
Distance.
It is distance, right? So, but why can't we say it in kilometers?
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
it will
that
be
will be
too
a
much.
really big number then.
Correct? Same way, when you are going deeper into the atomic level of any chemical, it's very difficult. Imagine in 1 spoon of vinegar, how many hydrogen ions will be there? It will be many, many. The way the distance will be exponentially high in light years, the same way the count of ions in a chemical will be very, very high. Okay. So instead of normal numbers, we use a unit, we use a term called mole, MOLE. I need to find a duster. Just give me a minute. I'll just get a duster. Just give me a minute. Is it going too much or you're able to follow what I'm saying? Hello? Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Is it becoming too
Yes,
difficult to understand?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Now if I want to say, if I give you 1 spoon of HCl and I tell you to find out the number of hydrogen ions in that, will you say it is 1000? Will you say it is 10,000? No, you cannot say that because it will be a lot more than that. So for that, instead of a number, we use a term called mole, MOLE. Okay. Now mole, the value of 1 mole is 6.02 something 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 into 10 raised to 23. Now when you say 1 mole of HCl, for example, so it will have 6.02 into 10 raised to 23 atoms or molecules inside that volume. Okay. In a given unit volume, how many molecules or atoms is present is denoted by a term called mole. Is this clear or not clear?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, please ask if it is not clear. Okay. And molarity, which I said, is a unit to measure moles. Okay. Like light years has its own unit, right? Light years itself, we say it's a unit. Or is there another unit for light years? Light years is a unit, right?
Yes, ma'am. It's a unit.
Same way, the moles have a unit which is called as molarity. Okay. Now, the formula which I had said, the log to the base 10 of H plus ions. Here, the H plus ions, you will be writing whatever, whenever they do research and they find out in numbers, they count it and all that. So that time, this particular thing is written, say, for example, say 0.02 M. So the concentration of H plus ions is written in molarity. Okay. So that was a new term that I wanted you all to know and remember. If you don't understand, I mean, it's not very important right now, but at least you should be aware of this word.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, I don't understand molarity.
Okay. Molarity is a unit for moles. Just remember that much.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. All right. So this is all about what pH is. Okay. we got into pH and we, kind of dissected pH into its formula, and we understood the different components of the formula. Okay. Now let's come out of pH and see only the pH scale, which ranges from 0 to 14. Let's come back to our topic.
Okay, ma'am.
Now, as I had told you, that indicators are, chemicals. They show you that a chemical is acid or a base. So how do they show? When you add an indicator, will it will it pop up and will it write acid on its top, or how will it show? How will
It changes its color.
it changes its color? So a change in the color of the solution is an indication for us to understand whether a given substance is an acid or a base. Now, one fact I want you all to remember, that not everything is an acid or a base. Okay. Any solution, any aqueous solution, that means any chemical, when it is in a form where it is mixed with water, only that has a pH. The others don't have pH. For example, petrol, there will be no pH. Oil, there will be no pH. Okay. Only the chemicals which are formed with water will have pH. Is that clear?
Also have phenol.
Yes, ma'am.
Also have phenolphthalein.
Yes, ma'am.
You also have phenolphthalein. Very good. We will be using phenolphthalein in the next class. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
All right. So now in this table, a few indicators are given. Now these are all chemical indicators. The first one is methyl orange. Okay. Methyl orange turns orange in acidic solution, and the color of methyl orange is yellow when it is put in a base. Okay. Same way, if you see phenolphthalein is a transparent liquid. It looks just like water. When you put it in acid, it will show no color. It will still remain colorless. Okay. But the moment you put it in base, it will become pink. It will show that the given solution is a base. Okay. So we will be going forward and studying some indicators today with the help of experiments. Now, the ones that you saw in the last table, they were chemical indicators. Now we will see some natural indicators. So the first natural indicator that we are going to study today is the litmus paper. Okay. Now litmus paper is, the indicator is extracted from a flower. Okay. And it comes in two colors. One is red and one is blue. And the litmus paper changes its color when it is dipped in acid and when it is dipped in base. And the same way, turmeric also is used as a natural indicator. Okay. Now, I will not explain what happens. We will see it by performing an experiment. Okay. So the first experiment is litmus test. You all do not have litmus papers. So Nicola ma'am will be demonstrating the activity for you all, and then we will perform the turmeric test. Okay. Nicola ma'am, are you ready? Nicola ma'am? Ma'am, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, okay, you can start the experiment.
Yeah.
Which screen do I pin to?
The phone one.
The one with your picture?
No, not the one with the picture.
Where you're talking right now, that one.
No, not to that screen.
Okay. You can put your video on. So yeah, okay.
Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
Ma'am, your videos blur.
And it's very blur. I can't tell what's there.
Can you see? Okay, Nicola ma'am, can you show them one by one solution, please? See, the first beaker has salt
okay.
solution.
So
This is salt solution. Okay.
yeah, the first one.
And yeah,
Is
yeah,
the
it
writing
is.
visible or not?
Ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Is
Yes,
it visible
ma'am.
now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So we are having here is blue litmus paper. Okay. Now, when the blue litmus paper, we'll just check what happens.
Ma'am, we can't see the beaker.
You don't need to see the beaker. You just need to see what happens to the litmus paper. Does it change color? It was a blue litmus paper.
No,
Did it
ma'am.
change color?
It was blue, now it's purple. Now it's purple.
No, ma'am.
Now it's purple.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Did it change
Yes,
color?
ma'am.
No. So we can say that since salt solution did not change color with the blue litmus paper, salt solution is neutral. Okay? Is that clear? We
Yes,
move on to
ma'am.
the next one. Can you all see the sugar solution?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
And we are going to use the red litmus paper. All right?
Okay, ma'am.
Now I'll be dipping it in sugar solution. Does it change color?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, man, it stays
So
red.
what is the sugar solution?
Neutral,
Okay.
ma'am.
Ma'am, it
It
is
stays
neutral.
red. So what is it? It is neutral.
Ma'am,
Very
neutral.
good. We move on to the we move on to the next one. This is washing soda. Okay? And this is blue litmus paper.
So the blue litmus paper is not dark blue. It is a very faint blue paper in color. Okay, so it's very, very faint blue.
Yeah. Okay. So when we put it in washing soda, does it change any color?
No, ma'am.
It just becomes darker.
That's because it is
So-
getting wet.
Then no.
Okay. Yeah. So the blue litmus paper also does not change color in washing soda. Blue litmus paper will remain blue if it is dipped in a base. Okay? But if it is dipped in an acid, it will change its color to red. So washing soda is a base. So it did not change its color. It remained blue. It did not change to red color. Okay?
Ma'am, can we dip a red litmus
Did you
paper
follow that?
in washing soda and show them?
Yeah. Just give me a second.
Now see, this is a red litmus paper and ma'am has dipped it into a solution of washing soda. Now see the change in color. Can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am. Yes.
So the red
So
litmus
you all
paper,
can
the red litmus paper changes to blue when it is dipped in a base. Okay? Now we move on to the baking soda. Baking soda solution. So this is red litmus paper. We dip it in the baking soda solution. Can you all see the color change?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So it has changed to blue.
Yes.
So what does that mean? What is baking soda? Is it an acid or a base?
It's acid.
It's a base. See, there's one thumb rule to remember here. Anything
It's a
which
base,
remains,
okay?
yeah,
Because
anything which remains blue in the end is a base, and anything which remains red in the end is an acid. Acid with red, so it is a danger. So remember it that way. Anything, the end result, if it is red, then it is an acid, and anything if the end result is blue, then it's a base. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
This is vinegar.
But when we use turmeric,
Yes.
then base is changed into red.
No, this whatever I told you is true for only litmus test. What I told you right now is true for litmus test only.
Okay. Now we'll check the red litmus paper with vinegar. Does it change color?
No, no, ma'am.
No.
No,
So what is it? So what is vinegar? Is it an acid or a
Acid.
base?
acid.
Acid.
Ma'am, it's acid.
So vinegar is also called acetic acid. Okay. Now we test the red litmus paper with detergent solution. Does it change color?
Ma'am, it's base.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So what is detergent solution? Is it an acid or a base?
Ma'am, it's base.
Yes, it's a base. Yeah. Now we test with shampoo. Okay, a solution of shampoo. We test it with blue litmus paper. Does it change color? Okay,
Ma'am.
you are not able to see.
Yes.
Yeah, wait.
No,
Does it
ma'am.
change color? No.
No, ma'am.
No,
So,
ma'am.
what is the shampoo?
No, ma'am. It is a base.
It's a base. Okay, now we'll test.
And base.
Yeah. Now we'll test red litmus paper with water. Okay?
Ma'am, your voice is
Can you all
breaking.
hear Nicola, ma'am?
Ma'am,
No,
No.
ma'am.
ma'am, your voice and video is paused. It's frozen.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Nicola, ma'am? Yeah, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am.
So, see, I'm testing water with red litmus paper. I'm testing water with red litmus paper. Did it change color?
No.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
It did not. So, what is water?
Neutral.
Neutral.
Ma'am, it is
Yes.
neutral.
Neutral. Water is neutral, so it did not change color. It's not an acid. Okay. Now let's taste tomato juice. Sorry. Let's test tomato juice with blue litmus paper. Does it change color?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Actually, I don't know, but it's a faint red. Okay, I think
It's
it's
a very
not
weak
visible to you all,
acid.
but
It's a very weak acid. So the color change
yeah,
will
it's
be
a
very
very it's a, yeah, it's very faint. It's a slight pink color. Okay, maybe you all are unable to see it. Okay, but tomato juice contains oxalic acid. Okay, so it will change. Now moving on to the hand wash. We are testing it with red litmus paper.
I think ma'am is mute.
Ma'am,
yeah,
Can you
yeah.
ma'am, we
can
made
you
all
hear
the
me?
items ready. What do we do with it?
Ma'am, it is a base, but it is not changing its color.
Yeah, so base will no, this is see, usually these hand washes that we get these days, they are neutral, they are not acidic or basic. That's why you will be testing it with your solution. The hand wash that we use, they are neutral. The pH is balanced.
Ma'am, I couldn't get the red cabbage or hibiscus flower. What am I supposed to do?
You do it with turmeric. You have
Yes,
turmeric,
ma'am.
right?
So turmeric and water,
Okay.
right?
So yeah, turmeric and water. Make a
Ma'am,
solution.
ma'am, what am I
Now,
supposed to do?
now we will. Yeah. Now wait. Now we will move on from the litmus test. You all can write it down for yourself. That in litmus test, acid. In case of acid, red litmus will remain red, and blue will turn into red. Okay. So you can just write R arrow R and blue arrow R. Okay. And for base, you can write um, B arrow B. That means blue remains blue. And you can put R arrow B. That means red turns blue. Okay. Now with all the solutions that you have, okay, we want you all to do a test with turmeric first. Okay. Now you'll have to take samples in a small container because you'll be using the same samples for other tests also. So you can take out a few drops in a different container and you can start testing it by putting turmeric solution into each of your liquid samples.
Ma'am, so we need to get another more containers.
Yeah, get at least 3-4 empty containers,
Okay,
and
ma'am.
you can put little samples and you can test and discard and then test it again with another sample.
And what do we have to do with the
You
Ma'am,
can
we have to
also
test
prepare
soap,
turmeric.
right?
Yeah, come again, Samit.
we just have to dip the paper in turmeric water.
No. So you don't have to make turmeric paper. Just use turmeric solution and add a few drops of turmeric solution into all the food samples. So see, right now you all have three indicators. You all have the hibiscus extract, you all have the red cabbage extract, and you all have the turmeric solution. These three are your indicators, and others are your samples. Okay, so use
So we have
turmeric
to put
solution in every sample,
them
yes,
in
but
every single one.
yeah, every single one, but then take out little bit of the sample separately because you'll be testing the same samples again with hibiscus extract and the cabbage extract.
Ma'am, do we have to turn on our videos?
It'll be better. I'll be able to see it.
Okay.
Comment on your tables.
Ma'am,
Yes.
which ones should we test?
What all you have?
I have all of the supplies.
So test any 3-4 of them.
Okay, ma'am.
So test vinegar, test baking soda solution, test lemon juice, and test your hand wash with turmeric solution.
Ma'am, I have enough cups, so can I test all of them?
Yeah, please go ahead. Can you adjust your camera so that we can see your samples, Harshini? Very good.
1 minute, ma'am.
Who's Rahmat Sheikh? Rahmat, can you please turn your video on?
Ma'am, is my samples visible?
Yeah, it is visible, Harshini. Atharva, you can turn on your camera. And Samit, you can adjust your camera so we can see your. Yes, good. You can use it in the test tube.
1 minute, ma'am. I'll just turn on my video in 1 minute.
Yes, Samit, you are on mute.
Ma'am, I mixed soap water and the turmeric powder, and I got
What
this
did you mix with
colorless
what?
liquid. Soap water with turmeric powder, and I got this colorless.
Okay, we will conclude in the end. Okay, let's observe, note down the colors.
So
Yes.
Ma'am, is tomato juice
Yes.
also a sample, or is it with the like the turmeric powder?
No, tomato juice and lemon juice are samples.
Okay, ma'am.
And Samit, how come your turmeric is transparent? I mean, how come it is colorless?
I don't know. Maybe
Yeah, turmeric, at least in the water, it should show color, no? Yellow color.
Ma'am, I'm testing vinegar and soda.
Okay, go ahead. Add turmeric to both of it.
shampoo and
Ma'am, soda with turmeric turns red.
It turns red, right? And what happens to turmeric with acid?
shampoo and turmeric mix again, just a yellow.
Yellow, okay.
Ma'am,
Now
vinegar.
test the stronger acid and base, Samit. Test vinegar, test baking soda.
Ma'am, vinegar turns, like the turmeric goes in and it becomes yellow.
Okay, so the color, the indicator remains the same color. It remains yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, note it down. So soda means it is a base. So in soda, turmeric shows a red color. And in acid, turmeric remains yellow. You all don't have any other class after this, right? We can extend for a bit.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. What about Harshini, Atharva? Okay.
No, ma'am, I don't have any classes after this.
Okay. Good.
Baking soda and turmeric create again yellow. Orange.
No, your solution is your baking soda concentrated enough, Samit? Have you added too much of water into your baking soda?
No, I mean I'm eating soda, not baking soda, but
No, it's the same thing. You put little bit of soda in your test tube directly.
okay.
Ma'am, this is my soda.
What? Okay.
Ma'am, my soda became orange.
And this is my
Okay.
vinegar.
Orange.
Very good, Sonal. I can't see it, Atharva.
Ma'am, 1 second, I'll show you. Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it. It becomes orangish.
Ma'am,
It's
my hand wash has become greenish.
Okay. Was your
it's
hand
all
wash green in color?
It was blue in color, ma'am. It
Yeah,
turned
so
green.
blue and yellow makes
Yeah.
green.
ma'am
Okay.
the
My
picture,
shampoo is yellow, still
but then
yellow.
the picture is
Okay. Shampoo is neutral. What happens, Samit?
the baking soda molecule. I mean the small baking soda powder. It's become red in color, but then the I mean the turmeric powder is still orange. It's orange.
Yeah, so that's because the concentration is less. Okay.
Hmm.
So it is, if you add more, then it goes towards the reddish color. Okay. So in turmeric test, all the bases will show reddish color. Rehmat, can you turn your video on?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, give me the
Ma'am,
detergent.
lemon juice and vinegar remained yellow. Lemon juice
Okay.
turned a bit darker, but it might be
Okay.
because of the quantity.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That's all. I had.
That's all. So acid remains yellow, right? No color change in acids.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Yes, Harshini? Yes.
Only my laundry detergent and tomato juice is only two which changed red. All the others remained yellow.
Tomato juice is red already.
Yes, only these two changed color. The others are still yellow.
The baking soda is still yellow?
Yes, ma'am. No,
Hmm.
ma'am, the baking soda changed is a little dark yellow. Very
Yes.
little dark yellow.
Yes.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Ma'am, intestine
The
is
rest all
happening
are
from
yellow.
the powder. It's like that.
ma'am,
Yes, Sonal?
ma'am, shampoo and turmeric stayed yellow.
Yellow. Okay. So
Ma'am,
all that you use for your skin, na, the hand wash, your shampoo, they are usually made pH neutral so that they don't harm your skin. Yes,
ma'am,
Samit? Yes, Samit?
the washing powder and the turmeric powder are not willing to mix as much as I'm moving it around. It's still just not mixing.
Oh wow. So
It's like it's just staying separated. At the bottom there's this, and the top it's orange.
okay. So what are you going to do now?
And I just keep mixing. And it made some foamy stuff at the top, and
The color is yellow or orange?
it's a dark orange. Like it's gonna become red if I add more, but it's
Okay.
almost.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Ma'am, what should I do next?
Okay. Now we have tested with turmeric. Okay. There is one way to make turmeric paper, which Nicola ma'am will be explaining it to you. The way we saw litmus paper, Nicola ma'am has made turmeric papers. Okay. So Nicola ma'am, you can explain them how you made the turmeric papers.
Yeah. You all have to make turmeric solution. Okay. You all don't make it too dilute. Add a little bit of turmeric and a little bit of water. Don't make it too dilute. Okay. It should look somewhat like this. And then you'll take a piece of paper and use a paintbrush. Okay. Use a paintbrush and y'all can put it on the turmeric paper. On the paper. Okay. I cannot.
Ma'am, these are
Y'all can
Ma'am, your video is off.
paint. On Is it clear now?
Ma'am, your
Are you all able
video
to
is
see?
off.
Yes,
Ma'am, your
ma'am.
video is off.
So see here, like on the KitUK screen only at the bottom, Nicola ma'am is showing.
Ma'am, these are the beakers compared to each other.
Wow, you can see the color change very well, Samit. Yes, very good. So is Nicola ma'am's screen
Okay,
now
so
visible to you
need
all?
to put the,
Is the screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
yeah. So you'll need to make turmeric solution. You'll use a paintbrush and then you'll put the solution on paper and let it dry. Okay. Once one side of the paper is dry, then flip it over and do the same in the next side of the paper and leave it to dry. Okay. After that, you all will get this kind of papers. These are turmeric papers. Okay. For you can test different kinds of solutions with this paper, an acid or a base. Okay. Did you all follow it?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So let's move on to the next test now. You can see the screen. So we did the litmus test and our observations were noted that for a base, blue remains blue, red turns blue. For an acid, red remains red, blue turns red. And in neutral solution like water, the red will remain red and the blue will remain red. You can say any solution is neutral only when you tested both with blue and red litmus and the color in both cases remain the same. Okay, only then you can say that the solution is neutral. Okay? And you can note down the observations. We will move on to the turmeric test observation table. See, in case of an acid, the turmeric remains yellow, and in case of a base, the turmeric forms a compound which gives it a reddish color. Okay. So you can in an observation table like this, you can write down effect of turmeric, whether it remained yellow, whether it turned orange, whether it turned red in the second column, and in the last column you can write if it is yellow, then
Ma'am, I already wrote.
you wrote, right? If it is acid, then it will remain yellow. If it is anywhere from orange to red, then the solution is a base. Okay. Now, what is our next indicator? Yes, we have made China rose, that is hibiscus indicator, and we have also made red cabbage indicator. So your hibiscus solution would be somewhere light pink in color. When you put it in an acid, it will become dark pink. And when you put it in a base, it will turn green in color. Okay.
Ma'am, this is how my thing is. It's like a dark purplish color right now.
Okay.
This
Okay,
is
okay.
Ma'am, this
Now
is
let's
mine.
let's let's quickly see what is the effect of red on red cabbage, and then we will do the experiment. Okay. And in case
okay.
of red cabbage, I mean actually it is purple in color. We don't know why it is called red cabbage. So this purple cabbage, the extract must be purple, light purple or dark purple, depending upon the concentration. In a base, it will turn blue, and in an acid, it will turn pink. Okay. So remember these and then carry out the activity. So you all have to start your experiment for testing of acid and base using hibiscus indicator and then the red cabbage indicator. Come on. You all can make the turmeric paper later after the class. Okay, because it will take time to dry. So you can make it, let it dry for 2 days and then test it using the papers. Okay. Let's
Ma'am,
do hibiscus right now.
ma'am, I tried the cabbage extract
Huh?
on all of them to my
Okay.
tomato juice. it stayed the same color only. It just got a little bit purplish,
Okay.
red with purplish color.
Okay.
And then after that, for my vinegar, it turned pink.
In case of cabbage, right? The vinegar turned pink,
Yeah, for
but
cabbage.
your baking soda or your detergent should turn something like this, blue.
My vinegar turned, my baking soda turned a little bit aquamarine color.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Very good. You can start with the hibiscus extract.
Ma'am, after that, my lemon juice became pink.
Pink.
My hand wash is
Okay, yeah.
yellow. My
Okay.
hand wash is yellow.
Okay.
Shampoo became green, and then
Okay.
my laundry detergent is purple.
Ma'am, the washing detergent,
Okay. It remained
the
purple.
washing detergent
Yes.
Ma'am,
is
tomato juice and hibiscus, it stayed red.
Tomato juice and hibiscus.
It
Can you
stayed
test
red.
lemon
Okay.
or lemon juice or vinegar? Because tomato juice has its own color also. Yeah. Yes, Samit, you were showing me something.
Yeah, okay, ma'am.
yeah. So like with the washing powder, the China rose became green in color, and now
With
I'm
the
trying it with
washing powder, China rose became green in color. Very good.
the um, it's purple with the soap.
It is, yeah, it is nearby. It is purplish. All your solutions, Samit, I think they're very, very dilute, right?
Ma'am, ma'am,
That's why they are showing very faint colors. Yes, Sonal?
ma'am, vinegar and China rose is
Okay.
reddish color.
Okay.
So does that mean it's acidic?
Yes, it is reddish, pinkish. I mean, it's this color. Anywhere close in the reddish, pinkish family.
Yeah.
With shampoo, it's still pretty much colorless.
With
It's a
soap, is
faint
it,
pink.
Samit? With
With
shampoo, yeah.
shampoo.
As I previously told you, shampoo would be more towards the neutral. Shampoo and hand wash will be very close to the neutral.
I'm trying the baking soda now.
Yeah. See, out of all the samples that you all have now, lemon juice and vinegar will show very good results. And same way, in case of base, detergent and soda will show you very good results because they are stronger as compared to the others.
It became green with the
It
soap.
became green, yes, faint green. Yes,
Ma'am,
Sonal? Yeah.
Ma'am, I don't have any
lemon juice
formula
and
for vinegar or
hibiscus, it turned a little pink, pinkish
It
color.
turned a little pink. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, it turned a little pink. Correct.
vinegar. Ma'am, now I'm trying with vinegar.
Yes. Sonal, you try now with any base with soda. China rose with soda. You've tried it already? What about Harshini? What are you doing?
Ma'am, I'm gonna try it with the hibiscus.
Okay. You've tried with cabbage?
Yes, ma'am. I tried it with cabbage and turmeric
Very
powder.
good.
Ma'am,
It
and then
became
after the
red with
class,
the
I'll
vinegar.
send you the pictures of all three.
Ma'am, it's red with the vinegar.
Very good. Very good. Red with vinegar. Yes. Yes.
No more. Give me those cups. And what else is left?
After the class, help your mommies to clear up all the mess that you all have created.
Ma'am, I will clean it up.
Sorry?
I'll be the one who's cleaning it up.
No, I'm officially instructing all the children to do that.
Okay, ma'am.
Atharva,
Ma'am, baking soda,
yeah.
Yes,
baking
ma'am.
soda and hibiscus turn like a greenish, very greenish
Greenish
color.
color. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. You called me.
Yeah, Atharva. Atharva, you can try this. Like if you can find hibiscus or red cabbage, you can try it
Yes,
after the
ma'am.
class.
Yes, ma'am. I will.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
I'd say that the hibiscus showed more different colors than the um turmeric.
Turmeric. Yeah, that's because turmeric does not show any indication in acids. So
Ma'am, can I just
turmeric, yeah, you can just clear them off. Yes. So you saw like the litmus, it works on the acid also on the base also. Okay, there are two different types of litmus. Turmeric works only on the base side, that is 7 plus. If the pH is, then the turmeric will show effect. But hibiscus and red cabbage, it is showing results for the entire scale, for the complete pH scale of 0 to 14. The
okay.
hibiscus and red cabbage is showing color change. Now you all have you saw litmus and you have tested with 3 indicators. Now there is one more indicator which you all are going to do as a homework, that is using beetroot extract. Okay, so all the samples use beetroot juice to beetroot juice as an indicator to test if your sample changes color, whether it is an acid or a base, and what color does it change to in case of beetroot.
Ma'am, for
Ma'am,
beetroot,
Uh,
do we need to use the same samples?
yeah, you can use the same samples. If not
ma'am,
all, you can use only on few samples also. Yes, Sonal?
Okay, ma'am.
ma'am, soda and red cabbage turned into green.
1 second. Soda and red cabbage. Yeah, it will turn somewhere between green, blue, that range.
Yeah,
Yes.
turquoise type.
Turquoise blue. Yes.
Ma'am, I have no more containers.
Okay, you can clear up one of the containers, like whatever you're not using, or you can test it after the
Ma'am,
class also. That's okay.
Okay,
ma'am,
ma'am. Ma'am, I'll
Yes,
tell you all of my results.
yes. You can tell me all of your results. So wait, Sonal, I'll zoom onto your screen and you can show me everything. Yeah.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, tomato juice and hibiscus turned is still reddish type.
Okay. Okay.
And then soda and red cabbage is light green, bluish, turquoise type.
Okay. Okay.
Vinegar and hibiscus is pinkish.
Pinkish. Okay.
Lemon and hibiscus is also pinkish.
Okay. So keep the
Turmeric.
pinkish, reddish, orangish on one side, the blues and greens on the other side. So you'll understand acids and bases.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, hibiscus in soda is greenish, dirty
Okay.
green type.
Okay. Okay.
And then soda and turmeric is red.
Okay.
And then shampoo and turmeric is yellow.
Okay. So here in this case, in case of turmeric, your reds will go with the greens because that was your base, right?
Ma'am, I don't understand.
When in the for the turmeric test results, your glasses which turned into orange or red will go with the green and blue family because that's the base.
Okay, ma'am. So the yellow will go with the
With the reds and oranges, this side, in the pink side.
and the last one is the vinegar and turmeric. It's yellow.
It's yellow.
Didn't
Okay.
change.
Okay. Okay. Very
That's all
good.
of them.
Very good. Okay. Who else want to show? Harshini, will you be able to show? Are your glasses like? Can you be showing them?
Yes,
Or they are
ma'am.
not transparent, so it'll be difficult.
No, ma'am, it's fine. I can switch my camera.
Okay. Wait.
Ma'am, this first one,
Hmm.
the first one here is
Yeah.
tomato juice.
Okay. With.
Tomato juice with hibiscus.
Okay.
The next one is vinegar with hibiscus color. It turned pink.
Okay.
Next one is soda with hibiscus. It turned a little turquish green.
Okay.
After that, it is lemon juice.
Hmm.
Lemon juice with hibiscus. It turned pinkish.
Okay.
After that, it's the shampoo.
Okay.
It turned about little purplish color.
Okay.
Then the hand wash like this. And then the laundry detergent, it only turned yellow.
Okay. Okay.
That's all.
All right. Very good. So, as a home activity, you all will be making turmeric papers, and you all will be testing all these samples with beetroot extract.
Ma'am, what about that the questions that you asked us to do last time?
Yes, yes. I'm coming to the question section. Let's finish today's topic and then let's move on to the questions. Okay. So that is the end of our experiment. You can note down again observations in the observation table. And okay, so I will not be showing you the beetroot thing. So we, yes,
Ma'am, I just tried cabbage, hibiscus, and turmeric extract all together in 1 cup. It turned out a
and
little reddish yellow, kind of orange.
okay. So it's just like mixture of colors. They are all indicators. So mixture of colors. Okay. Now you'll note down today's questions first. Okay. The first question is, where is pH used in your day-to-day life? Where do we use pH in our day-to-day life? Okay. List a few acids and bases that you use in your day-to-day life and try to find out their chemical formula. First question was, where do we use pH in our day-to-day life? And the second question is, list a few acids and bases that we use in our day-to-day life and find out their chemical formula. Okay, these are the two questions for this week, and you all have to carry out those two activities which I told you. That is making turmeric paper, and when you make turmeric paper and once it is ready, try to test it with the same samples and see whether the result of the solution, like turmeric solution result and the turmeric paper result, are same or not. Okay, and try the same process with beetroot extract.
Ma'am, what's the second question?
Second question is, list a few acids and bases that we use. Try to find out the ones which I did not introduce to you all, like, in the first slide. So it's something apart from that. Acids and bases that we use in our day-to-day life and find out their chemical formula. All right. So I hope you all understood everything in today's session. Yes. Yes, Sonal.
Ma'am, what's the third question?
There's no third question, only two questions.
Okay, ma'am. What about the questions that you asked us to do last time?
Yeah, so now we are coming to that. Now I want to listen to the answers to the question that you all that I gave you all in the last class. So you all can start one by one. If you're ready, Sonal, you can start.
Okay, ma'am. The first question: to application of thermal conductors and insulators in day-to-day life. Insulators and water and plastic. No, wait. Water is not an insulator.
It is not an insulator.
Plastic and wood.
Plastic and wood, yes.
Conductors are copper, gold, water.
Okay.
Two applications of thermal conductors and insulators in industries. Conductors are mercury in thermometers and iron. And insulators are suspension insulators and stay insulators.
What do you mean by that?
Stay insulators is like it's kind of like used in wiring maybe.
Okay, so you have to give a proper explanation. Like for example, if I'm telling that wood is an insulator in your daily life, then I would say wood is an insulator and we use it to make our kitchen spatula so that we don't get a we don't get burnt.
We don't get burnt, yeah.
Yeah. So you have when you have to write, you don't have to just name what we use, but you have to write its uses.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. What about Samit? Are you ready with the answers, Samit?
Ma'am, the third question.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1 second, Samit. We'll finish with Sonal. Yes, Sonal.
Why there is a gap between the railway tracks?
Yes.
The answer is the gap is left between railway tracks to provide a space for the iron metal to expand and contract during summer and winter season due to changing temperatures.
Very good. Very good. Come on, Samit.
Ma'am, the only question I kind of figured out was like the why does
the railway track one?
Yeah, I couldn't find it in any books at all.
You couldn't find it? You should have Googled it.
You could use Google.
Yeah, definitely you can use the whole idea is that you all should read about the topic more and more, research about it more. Where you learn it from is immaterial.
Okay then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Samit, you can write your answers and you can send it to us on WhatsApp.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay. What about you, Harshini?
Ma'am, I searched it, but then I forgot to take note of it.
Okay, so you can note it down, and before next class, you all submit the answers for the last class and this class both.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, I noted it down, but then while removing pictures from my gallery, I took screenshots so I can note it down. While removing, I accidentally deleted those.
Okay, no problem. So you all maintain a notebook, okay, to so that all this remains with you because this is going to be useful for you all. All right. Okay. So we'll meet with a few more activities based on acids, bases, and pH in the next class. And hope you all understood everything that I know it was a little deeper information that I provided to you all, but I hope you all understood it. And if you have any doubts in understanding the pH and understanding the formula, next class you can let me know and I'll explain it to you again. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you for the class.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.